Hello, everybody. Daniel Salazar, your favorite realtor. I am going to be joined here shortly by Miss Joanne Hudson. She works with Highland Mortgage, and it will be talking about our listing in Sanford, 108 Willow Ridge Drive, how there's a Dream Makers Community Lenders Program through Highland Mortgage. And this house qualifies for it and has a lot of benefits, a lot of perks. And she's going to answer a few questions for us. And if people were curious about interest rates and if you're hesitant and things that you're not familiar with, she would be a great resource. So we're going to go over a few things and hopefully this video will be helpful. So she should be joining here shortly. And there she is. Welcome.
Hi,
There she
Daniel.
is. Hey, Miss Joanne. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for
How are
joining me.
you?
I'm good. Well, I was just introducing you before you joined in, and I was talking about you working for Highland Mortgage and that you're a great resource for people that may be unfamiliar with that territory and just not really sure where to go and what direction to go in and what programs are even available. You would be a great person to talk to. And I want to specifically focus on 108 Willow Ridge Drive in Sanford and how there's a Dream Makers Community Lenders Program that Highland Mortgage has, and this house actually qualifies. There's other designated areas for this program, but this house in particular also qualifies. So I just want to ask you a few questions, and thank you again for joining me. This is really appreciate you taking your time. I know
Thank you for
you're super
having me.
busy. So question number one, can you explain the Dreammaker Community Lending Program and how buyers can benefit from the 4,500 incentive program?
So the Community Lending Dreammaker program, it's a lending program. It's designed to buy down interest rates or to use as closing costs for eligible transactions based on it's based on the property census tract requirement, which is for underserved communities. It is generally to make sure that we are in compliance with fair lending requirements on it. So they pick these areas because they are specific areas that are underserved communities, and they're all over the world.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's a great program and more people need to take advantage of it. A lot of people don't even know that it's out there.
That is the general consensus. I very few people know about it. Only specific mortgage companies have actually been given this pilot program. And it's nice because it's an actual grant. It is not paid. You don't have to pay it back. It's not like a down payment assistance that, you take out a 10-year payment on it.
Great. Great. Well, that's really good information to know. I hope everybody's taking notes. My second question is, with rates fluctuating, what advice do you have for buyers who may be hesitant to purchase a home right now in this particular current market?
So I get that question a lot because, I have a lot of first-time home buyers that are really concerned about they hear about these 6% rates. Well, if you look at the rates in years past for 20, 30 years ago, even a little bit longer than that, it's a reciprocal cycle. So rates will come down, they will go up, and they will come down. And it's never a bad time to purchase a home. Buying a house is something that you're going to build equity in. It's going to be something that, even if it's your first home and it's a $100 or $200 or $300,000 home, it's always a home that you can turn around and have it as an investment property and rent and buy your next step up, which I meet more and more people that own so many properties because that is what they did. They started, and they bought a house. They took that chance of making sure that they weren't paying someone else's mortgage and they were paying their own. So I never find that it's ever it's a bad time.
I would agree with you. And to add to that, there's an old saying that it's always better to buy real estate and wait as opposed to wait and buy real estate.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you wait to buy real estate and the rates come down, we're going to get into the same market we were in before, that there were bidding wars. And it was so hard to buy a house. For some of our first time home buyers, we made 3, 4, 5, 7 offers before they actually get a home because they waited instead of just buying when they should have. A home is always an investment. It's not like buying a car. It's not like buying a boat. A home is an investment for your future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good quality information there. So the third question is, for someone considering buying 108 Willow Ridge Drive, how could this program make homeownership more affordable?
So the Dream Maker program, we can also combine it with a Home Ready and Home Possible, which are Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae's first-time homebuyer programs. And what they do is Freddie and Fannie have these things called LLPAs, which are additional charges on a conventional mortgage that are, if you're not putting down a specific amount of money of 20% down they charge to the loan. With Home Ready and Home Possible, you don't pay those LLPAs. And you also get that lower rate with them, which is it's very comparable to an FHA rate, and you get lower PMI with Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae's Home Ready and Home Possible. And with this particular house, you're looking at not paying any more than you would pay to rent to own this house. One of the things I did not mention is that the only specifications for this, there are no income limits on this program with DreamMaker.
Really?
So there's no income limits, and you do have to have a 620 credit score. But we have some phenomenal programs that I can actually probably help you. Say you're 20 points away, we can figure out a way of getting there. And we don't do free credit repair. We just will actually help you repair it. It does, or just to make you go up, because a lot of people just have a little bit of extra debt, or they have, one credit card that they owe $900 out of $1,000 limit. You pay it down to, $300, your score jumps up drastically. So we always have those options too. So it's never a set, you have to have a 620 the second that you do it, because we're always there to jump in and see what we can do to help you.
It's always good to have someone to help you with a game plan and strategize, and that you may be closer to achieving that pre-approval than you think.
Yeah, for sure. And I just had a VA client that we couldn't figure out how we were going to get her into this loan. And her husband is National Guard. And I was totally forgetting the National Guard income. We were like $200 away in income a month to make it work. And I was like, what do you get? I didn't even think of it. So, there's always good to brainstorm. It's always good to work together with you or with my clients. A lot of the times the clients will, be like, well, I have this, and it does help. It's great to have a collaboration of the minds.
Of course. So the next question I wanted to ask you was, what are the key, and you kind of touched up on this on the last question, so it kind of blends in, but just because I wrote it down, I want to ask it. What are the key qualifications for buyers to take advantage of this program, and how can they get started?
So the first thing for most buyers is, and I tell all of my, my kids are in their 20s and 30s, and I tell all of them and their friends, first of all, get pre-approved. First thing to do is get pre-approved. And when I say get pre-approved, it doesn't mean call your mortgage broker and say, hey, can you send me a pre-approval over? I think I'm approved. It's literally getting your documents over to your lender and making sure that everything goes through and it is an approval. It's when I send over an approval for my clients, and a lot of people don't realize this, but it is already a conditional approval. It's already been through an underwriting process. So I think that the most important thing for a buyer to do is get their ducks in a row, make sure, they have all of their documents for the lender. Second of all, make sure when you see the lender, they're capable, whether it's me or someone else, that they're capable of showing you all the different programs. Like I could tell you this home qualifies. I don't know. I would think in Sanford, North Carolina, probably there are a lot of areas that do qualify for USDA. I would have to look it up to find out if it's on the USDA map.
This one is on the USDA.
Most in Sanford do. So USDA is a 0%. So even if you didn't want to take the community lending program is only for conventional, which is a great program anyway, because it's like I said, you can go down to a 620 score with this particular program. But USDA is also great as long as you meet the program guidelines of USDA, which are numerous, but it is a great program. It's got an exceptionally low rate and it's 0 down. So we could do USDA on this home. We could do the regular conventional Home Ready, Home Possible loan on this loan. I also have a waiver of the LLPAs conventionally if I use Freddie in this particular area, because even if I'm not using the community lending program, we can still get the lower LLPAs. FHA is a great option for everyone. Right now, a lot of people are using FHA because the rate is lower than a conventional mortgage, except in using the DreamMaker program, it's about the same rate, but for a conventional mortgage. And then of course, we always, if you are a veteran and you have veterans benefits, we do a zero down, a VA loan, and you don't pay any PMI, and PMI is prepaid mortgage insurance. So most people don't know really what PMI is, but it's because you have not put 20% down on a loan, you are required to pay. It's almost like insurance on your loan that you will pay. So those are all the ways that you can get into this. We also have some down payment assistance programs, especially if you have a 640 or above score. We have a few programs that we can work with the state of North Carolina and a couple of our own programs in-house that are down payment assistance programs. But you do have to have a 640 or above credit score and a little bit lower debt to income. So it's closer to 45% debt to income instead of with FHA of 40 and 57.
Beyond this program, what other financing options should buyers know about that can help them get into a home with lower costs? And like I said, you said, you just touched on a few. We said USDA, FHA, you had down payment assistance programs, the community lender program. Is there anything that I'm missing? We had mentioned throughout this entire conversation a few.
No, I don't think so. I think that really touches base on most programs. I mean, there's always other programs out there. We research them all the time. If someone calls me and says, hey, I have this program, can you do it for me? And I'm like, let me see. And, we do the best to what we can do. Some of them are specifically, like ours is a pilot program with the community lending program. So some other lenders may have a different program that they're put on as a pilot program from a big bank as well. So I think that just getting with your lender, whether it be me or someone else that's, eager to make sure that you are doing the right thing, not getting you the most you can get for an approval, but what you can afford for an approval, which is really more important, that you're going to be able to actually pay that house, or our client's going to be able to pay that house, because no one ever wants to bite off more than they can chew. It's always great to make sure that it is in the best interest of our clients to make sure that the program we put them with and the amount that they're going to pay is something they're going to be able to comfortably pay. So I think that's important.
It's very important. And I like doing interviews like this because it can put a face to the name, and you can kind of familiarize yourself with the people who are going to be helping you. And in theory, if someone was interested in buying 108 Willow Ridge Drive, of course they'll schedule a showing, whether it was with me or their agent. And the same thing goes for if they like it, then there's a program, whether they call you or a lender that they've already been working with. The point is to make sure that they're aware that there's a lot of benefits, a lot of different ways that you can save money, and there's a lot of resources out there for you. And you have me as an agent, you as a loan officer specifically, that are here to answer questions without, having to make any sort of commitment. When we're here as a resource for the community, and if they decide to use us, then even more, cheers. But thank you for your time. This was really informative. I appreciate you. If anybody needs anything, I'll be putting Miss Joanne Hudson's information in the comments and in the description, so her number and her email. But do you want to maybe say your website where people can go and maybe look at your loan application?
Sure. I work for Highland Mortgage. I'm here in Hilton Head, South Carolina, but we are based all over the United States. We are licensed in every state except for 2, and I'm licensed in 13 states myself. I'm Joanne Hudson at Highland Mortgage, and if you look it up on Google, you can find it pretty easily.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. Thank you. I think this wraps it up, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you, Joanne.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.